Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lavender Alchemy. You can just call me Lavender. Today we're going to be working on Monster Girl designs. This is for a video game that I'm working on with a friend, Dolly to be specific. She asked me if I would be willing to help her design some characters for a game that she wants to make, and I was like, absolutely, I can do that for you. The thought process behind it is that they are monster girls that are working in a grocery store. I started with the design of the uniform first. I wanted the uniform to look a little bit vintage. I wanted it to look very cute and kawaii because Dolly really wanted kawaii designed monster girls. After designing the uniform, I did start kind of working the monster girls, but before that, had like a couple of rules that I was trying to follow. Number one, the girls had to at least wear something from the uniform, preferably like the shirt, because the shirt was technically the uniform, not necessarily the pants, is what I decided. But I wanted them to wear at least the shirt or the dress, and then from there they could wear whatever else they wanted to wear. This was to help me design a cohesive look amongst all of the girls, while also allowing myself to give them more character pieces that would be specific to them. With all that being said, let's get right into the video. The first character we're going to be designing is the help desk. I decided that that was just going to be her name, point blank, but this is just my personal headcanon. This is where I probably should put in that everything I say from this point is completely headcanon other than like character design aspects, because I've not gone over any of this information with Dolly, and she's kind of the main factor. She decides whether or not we keep these things, so it's on her. I'm just here being a silly little goose. We started with the help desk. The help desk was not something that she had picked like a monster for. She had told me about the whole thing, and then I had made like a one-off illustration for the help desk. What decided the design for this character? I wanted her to be kind of plain, kind of boring, very nondescript is the only way that I can describe it. I wanted her to kind of be like a fever dream in some ways, like something that you see out of the corner of your eye and you're like, yeah, that's a person. And then you like look away and you're like, wait, was that a person? Like that's kind of the vibe that I wanted to give her. So I gave her these pigtails that have this sickly green look to them. I wanted it to be very minty, but at the same time, obviously, this is supposed to be a monster girl, so it's going to look a little bit off. I also wanted to give her kind of like this weird forced smile. It kind of emphasized the way that her mouth is overly stretched to its limit. Lastly, she is kind of tethered to the help desk, so she can't go anywhere. That is part of her design. Lastly, every single character has rules to follow. Every character is going to have a different area, but they all have very specific rules that are tethered to what they are or what area they're in. For the help desk, her rules are pretty basic. I do plan to talk to Dolly to probably increase the amount of rules and or like get more specific rules, but these are the rules that she has as of right now. Number one, don't ask, don't tell, and make sure that you put things back. Number two, don't go into specific employee-only areas. And number three, don't break anything. And those are really all of her rules. The next character we're going to be talking about is Tegan. She is the Venus flytrap, and she is the person that runs the garden center. That's her, main stage. Tegan is kind of, think camp counselor mixed with soccer mom is the only way that I can describe her. I didn't even do that sort of idea on purpose. That was just kind of something that happened. And I'm not mad at it. Like, her design came out very soccer mommy, and I'm living for it. So the first thing that I designed was I gave her this really cool little apron thing. I wanted to make sure that she had like a very distinguishing feature from her area, and I was like, okay, what do you need if you're gardening? And then it hit me, I was like, oh, well, you get your hands dirty all the time, you need something to wipe them on. As well, you're gonna have like a lot of little tools, so you're gonna want like something to keep your tools in. So I gave her this like little apron, and then obviously she has the shirt, and I gave her a little sun visor, partially because I wanted to give her more features that kind of sort of represented the Venus flytrap, but I also wanted to, make sure that she was protecting her eyes. The other big feature is that she has no shoes, and that is because shoes are for losers. But yeah, I had a lot of fun drawing Tegan's design. I thought she was going to be like a little bit more hippie dippy sort of vibe, or cottagecore maybe, but I wanted to give like a slightly different vibe to her comparatively to some of the other characters, so she ended up very much this like soccer mom, camp counselor kind of look, and it's amazing. As far as her rules are don't mislabel the flowers, don't kill the flies, and don't make the flowers sad. What does that mean? Nobody knows, but when you play it, you'll kind of get the gist of what's going on there. So Ruby is going to be next. Ruby is the slime. The key thing that I think is important for me personally is that she's of an unknown age, but she has like a bunch of baby blobs. No children though. She just occasionally makes baby blobs, it's fine. Ruby's design was meant to... I wanted to capture the thought of like really amazing goopy candy is the only way that I can describe it. Something that looks absolutely like scrumdiddlyumptious, but then you start to look a little bit closer at her and you're like, is that a bone in her body? Why is there a bone? So I designed her to have a very basic uniform, just the dress. I didn't add a lot of detail to the dress. I did want to add some like stars and some like almost spacey theme idea to her. I just like the idea that she like sparkles and shines like a green night sky, but also kind of like, you know, sparkly candy. So it's great. But I gave her a very basic uniform dress, and she was actually the first one to get this uniform dress. I just wanted somebody to have, the idea was that one person would have just the basic shirt and one person would have just the basic dress. So the puppet and the slime kind of act as like polar opposites of what the uniform can look like as far as like the base uniform. The other thing that I wanted was I wanted to make sure that she had like mittens or like gloves, because I thought it'd be funny to make it seem like she was the one that was cooking the food, because obviously her as a slime, I don't know if I would want to eat something that someone, I don't want to say gelatinous because that sounds weird, but like someone that slime would make, because I feel like it would just be all up in that food. The last thing is that I didn't give her irises or anything like that, or like the white parts of the eye, but I did want to give her an actual eye bit so that you knew where she was looking and stuff like that. But I tried to make it look very weird so that it was obvious that those aren't necessarily her eyes, but those are where you're going to look at her. Her rules are pretty simple as well. You must take her samples no matter how gross they are. She made them fresh for you. It's only polite. Don't put things where they don't belong because she will get upset. And don't eat the non-sample food. You're not allowed to touch the non-sample food. Editor Lavender here. So after I posted this initially, I kind of got messages from Dolly saying that I goofed. So oopsie poopsie. I fixed it and I changed some audio and I took out the goof. But she also mentioned that later on, right, afterwards, that she really wanted to add like mini games to it. So I thought I would add in that some of these rules may or may not be part of mini games. Anywho, thanks. Bye. Sorry. This character we're going to be designing is Silver, who is the succubi. I wanted to try and design a succubi that A, wasn't sexy, and B, was a little bit unusual. The first thing that I wanted to design was like the clothes. At first I gave her very much like this like preppy and kind of cutesy look, and I was like, it feels like that's not quite the vibe I want to give her. So I ended up with these amazing flared pants moment, and I honestly could not be happier. I thought that they gave her this very vintage kind of feel, which fit with her role, which is the photographer. So she works in like the photo area, taking care of taking photos and like developing the photos, stuff like that. And I wanted to give her this like vintage feel that went with it. Almost, or at least that's how it ended up, is that it ended up being that she got this like cool, weird, artsy vintage look to her. And I was super excited about it because, like I said, I didn't want to go traditionally sexy. I wanted to give her this different kind of vibe. And I think I did good on that. The next thing is that I wanted to give her this more innocent, like sort of like half up, half down sort of hairstyle. So I just gave her like this little swept up moment around her little horns. Lastly, I wanted to give her an aspect that most succubi don't have, which is a tail with a mouth. I don't know what it was that I was thinking about when I was making this, but I do remember seeing a bunch of characters that had like tails with mouths, and I thought that they were so interesting and cool, and I thought that it would be really interesting to make her a succubi. Her that eats, it's the tail that eats, and I thought that would be interesting to play with. So that's Silver. Her main rules are don't come into the back room, no photo bombing, and don't be late to your photo shoot. The next character we're going to be designing is Charlotte. So Charlotte is a spider monster girl. I named her Charlotte because I thought it would be ironic, but whether or not her name is actually going to be Charlotte or not is up to Dolly. I just thought it was funny. Anywho, she's supposed to be the cashier, and I thought it would be super iconic to make her into a character that looked a little bit on the younger side, more like a teen, someone that, you know, like popped gum, like the very stereotypical cashier for most of the movies kind of vibes. But I wanted to give her more personality, so I gave her this like Black Widow kind of vibes. So goth attire with like this really cute like overalls. I gave her these really cute overalls, and I gave like the pant like spider web. I just thought it would be really cute. I took a lot of inspiration from goth fashion in order to get her outfit looking the way that it does. I also wanted to give her like big curly fun bouncy hair. I just thought lastly, she does have snake bites, I think that's what they're called, where they're like on both sides, but I probably could dial it back to just one so she just looks like she has like a little fang hanging out. I also gave her like piercings down her face. I don't know, I just wanted her to look really cute, but also kind of like not venomous, but like kind of standoffish, put-offish, whatever you want to call it. Someone you're like, oh, she's really cute, but I'm really scared to, you know, say the wrong thing. Lastly, I did give her multiple arms. I wanted to make sure that she looked very spider-like, so I gave her multiple arms so that she had like almost all of her limbs. And then she does have a spider butt, which I took a little bit of inspiration from Has Been Hotel to get the spider butt correct, because it was a little bit of a weird shape back there. But yeah, that's Charlotte, and I love her. For Charlotte's rules, I had a little bit of trouble, I will be the first to admit, but the rules that I thought of was don't ask for plastic, make sure that you know exactly how much things cost. Quickly make sure that you're bagging your own groceries, otherwise she'll get angry. And do not ask her to put anything back. Those were kind of the ideas that I had for her. There are a few more than 3, but I thought that those would be interesting rules for her. The next character we're going to be talking about is the Sphinx. She is the deli worker. Her name is Dolly. She is a very spunky, energetic kind of gal, very much a sporty girl. I wanted her to look a little bit tomboyish, a little bit cute, so I tried to marry those as much as I could. She's probably the shortest out of everybody, which is kind of funny, but don't tell Larry I said that. So Dolly and the slime girl, Ruby, have to wear the same uniform because they work for the deli and the bakery respectively. And because of that, I wanted to make sure that they had like a similar vibe since they were going to be so close together in the store. But like I said, because Dolly is a little bit more sporty, I wanted to make sure that she had a very tomboyish kind of look. So I started with the ball cap. I wanted to give her something that would kind of make it seem like she played sports or something on those lines, but I was kind of fighting the ears as well because she has lion ears. So I decided upon making it backwards and giving it like multicolors to make it super cute. And then on top of that, I also gave her a different collar line than Ruby. Dolly has like this sleeveless sweatshirt situation, at least from appearance, because like it doesn't go past like the poofy sleeves of the dress, and it's just like the hood of the sweater. Lastly, I gave her these like capri looking things with a strap because I thought that they would be nice, and I was like, oh, you know, she just like throws this dress on, whatever it is that she's wearing that day, and goes to work because she doesn't like the uniform, but she's got to do it. The other key details that I wanted to add was I wanted to make it seem like her ears, wings, and tail were kind of sandy looking. I really wanted to make sure that Dolly had the vibe that she was made, like parts of her were made out of sand, since she is a sphinx and sphinxes are made out of sand. Overall, Dolly came out really cute. I really wanted to make sure that she represented the area that she was from, so, you know, Dolly, the name, came from Egypt, and then I made sure that her skin tone was representative of where she's from. Overall, like, I just, you know, I wanted to pay homage. As far as her rules, because she is bound to the deli, she doesn't have as many rules as some of the others, but her rules are don't ask the same question twice, never ask to see a use-by date, you get what you get and you don't complain. It doesn't matter if it's not the thing that you asked for. That is the thing that you're getting. And yeah, that's Dolly. Thank you so much for watching. I do apologize for how late this video is. I have been fighting video editor after video editor, and then I got allergies in my face. It's been a roller coaster of emotions trying to finish this stupid video. Lastly, I do have a Ko-fi where you can support me. The perks of, you know, supporting me on Ko-fi is that you get a free monthly print. You get first time chibi commission, that's completely free. I also try and update you guys a little bit more often, as well as adding like whips and other things to it as often as I humanly can, just so that you guys have material. Anywho, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys liked it, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye!